I want to welcome all of you today to my channel, George Music for All Four Seasons, and I'm going to provide you with a fan's review of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Working Our Way Back to You. It's a massive box set, 44 CDs, a vinyl album is also included with 3 books, a coffee table booklet, a review of the singles, and a booklet showing rare photographs of 45s and picture sleeves. We will start off, it's right here, with the album that is included, the Genuine Imitation Life Gazette, written by Bob Gaudio and Bob Crew. If you have not heard this album, I highly recommend that you give it a spin, a stream, or however you choose to listen to your music. It is a great album by what I consider one of the great writers out of the 1960s, Bob Gaudio, and his then partner, Jake Holmes. They both also wrote a very good album for Frank Sinatra and produced it titled Watertown. That is also a great album. But anyway, this is included in mono, never before released in mono. Also in the box set is a, is a huge book on the history of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And this book, I gotta get to my notes. Oh, before that I gotta put on readers, which I need now at this age, is a book that was written by Paul Sexton on the history of the Four Seasons, and it is a great read. Also, there's over 50,000 words included by New York Times best-selling author Mr. Ken Sharp. Before I get to what's in the book, I had the pleasure of meeting Ken Sharp at a Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons concert about 2 months ago at the YouTube Theater in Los Angeles. And upon meeting him, he shared some stories with me on his work on this box set. And I also had the pleasure of him autographing my program that night. Not sure if you can see his autograph there, but it was a real treat. In fact, I have him sharing some thoughts on his involvement in this box set on my YouTube channel in a short. Anyway, back to this book. It is a great read. Again, written by Paul Sexton, has some contributions in there by Brian Wilson, Barry and Maurice Gibb, and Billy Joel, who are also big fans of this great band. Also, by some quotes by Anthony Chubby Cifelli, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, who wrote Tell It to the Rain, Peggy Santiglia, who wrote Beggin'. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Beggin', that massive hit for the Four Seasons and many others years later, written with Bob Gaudio and Eddie Rambo, who wrote Only Yesterday, that appeared on the Four Seasons Dawn album. Anyway, this is a great book. Plenty of pictures. Again, the complete history of the Four Seasons. And, it is just great. Again, a great read. And again, this box set is only limited to 2,500 copies. So you better get it while you can. Anyway, that book is included. Also, the book here I mentioned with the 45s and rare picture sleeves. Some very, very pricey. And I'm proud to say I do have a few in my collection. But just a great, great book. Plenty of rare pictures. And a lot of sleeves in here that I didn't even know existed. Also, by Mr. Ken Charmer is Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Collector's notes and track information is included. And I'll read just one paragraph. He starts off with the long overdue catalog collection of the Four Seasons, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, and Frankie Valli solo and duets aim to provide the most comprehensive set of tracks with the highest sound quality spanning their whole career as a musically connected entity from 1962 through 2016. And again, plenty of notes on each and every release that is in this box set. Also in the back is a nice little advertisement for their #1 hit back in '64, Ragdoll, that many consider the top song of 1964. Anyway, we'll look at a few of the CDs. Sherry is included, and in this collection is mono and stereo of every song with some outtakes. Bermuda, Trance. Also live is Ain't That a Shame and Big Girls Don't Cry, that were recorded back in '63 when Valli and the Seasons flew over to the UK for some concerts and TV appearances. These two songs appeared on the BBC Saturday Club. Great sound live. Again, Ain't That a Shame live, very good. And Big Girls Don't Cry. Also a demo from an acetate, That's You. So great album here. Also the Big Girls Don't Cry album. Great album, again, mono and stereo. Has a live demo from an acetate, I Am All Alone, Like You, Connie-O, Big Girls Don't Cry, and Connie-O. Again, great album. Also Ain't That a Shame, with bonus tracks rather, Like You, Star Maker, Silver Wings, Peanuts in the stereo version, Like You, trumpet arrangement. Just so many rare goodies that have gone unheard or have never been released up to now. The Four Seasons, Dawn Go Away, masterpiece of an album, one of my favorites. And in this one, we have Stay Since I Don't Have You, Cry Myself to Sleep, and Dawn Go Away, all recorded live and were provided to the individuals that put this set together by Tommy DeVito, who had these recorded and I believe put away for years. And the Four Seasons sound so good live back in '64. My God, the vocals are just awesome. That entire four-piece concert is great. We have the Four Seasons New Gold Hits, one of my favorite albums. Tell It to the Rain, mono version, Beggin', mono, Dodie, and stereo, Come On Marianne, Watch the Flowers Grow. Along with the regular hits on this album that include Beggin', and a favorite of mine, I'm Gonna Change, that I feel should have been released as a single. Great sounding album by the Four Seasons. Also, we have the Frankie Valli solo album with plenty of outtakes, a proud one. The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore, which I think is one of the greatest songs written by Bob Gaudio and Bob Crew. Beautiful song. Should have been a massive hit for Frankie Valli. Again, a lot of hits here. Also, a version of Can't Take My Eyes Off You in mono, and an alternate vocal version. Great listening here. Also, on some of the special edition albums released, Back in Action, the Lost Disco album by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons at times, Fancy Dancer, Let It Be Whatever It Is, Dr. Dance, Eat Your Heart Out, extended mix, Passion for Paris extended mix. Again, a lot of this stuff has never been released. Great album. Also, we have Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons live at the Steel Pier in Atlantic City, recorded July 7th, 1972. A great live album. Starts off with Opus 17, Don't You Worry About Me, and ends with If I Were a Carpenter. Just a great live album that, again, has never been heard before. Also, we have another live album, Live at Lucifer's in Boston, recorded 1973. Oh, this stuff is so good. There's so much banter with Frankie Valli and Joe Long going back and forth. Just great listening. Starts off with Dawn Go Away, The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore, ends with You're Ready Now. Just, I'm telling you, this whole box set is a Four Seasons dream come true. And for me, it was. It was many years in the making, and some of the folks that were involved were Paul Sexton, Bob Fisher, Ken Charmer, and Ken Sharp, again, who I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of months ago. Again, on the special albums is a Motown Previously Unreleased. Oh, geez, several tracks that have never been out before. I never knew Frankie Valli recorded What Love Has Joined Together. Yes, the great song written by Smokey Robinson, Minute by Minute, Day by Day, After You, Hymn to Her Lovers. Plenty of outtakes and alternate versions on this one also. We have Rare and Unreleased, 1966 to 1971, beginning with Raven, the outtake, Beggin', mono from the acetate, How Loud Can the Music Play, The Goose, Come On Marianne, instrumental, and That Reminds Me, instrumental. I know you've heard me use the word acetate. From what I understand, that is a copy of the first release of a single back then in the 50s, 60s, maybe even 70s, I'm not sure. That is released so others can hear. It's on a steel round metal plate with the song recorded into the grooves. And I believe you can only get so many plays out of that. Then after that, it's no longer any good. But anyway, that's what acetate means. Anyway, Where Are My Dreams? Just, again, another great album. Also, we have Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, a special singles mixes from 1988 to 2007. Big Girls Don't Cry, enhanced version of the original. December of 1963, the 12-inch remix, the instrumental. The summer edition, 1988. And again, for those that don't know, December 1963, Oh What a Night, at one time was the longest running single on the Billboard charts of, I believe, 54 weeks. And a couple years later, it was broken by Mariah Carey, which again, this is one of the longest singles, maybe number 2 or 3. And again, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Then we have Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, live at Bachelor's 3 in Fort Lauderdale, recorded June 1974. A great live album. And again, a lot of banter going on between Joe Long, Frankie Valli, maybe a few of the other band members. Starts off with a medley of Save It For Me, Opus 17, and ends with If I Were a Carpenter. Has My Eyes Adored You, which I don't believe had even been released yet. Great, great live album. Then 1980s Rare, alternates and unissued tracks. You Made It Beautiful, Gypsy Woman, East Meets West, My Older Lover, Let's Hang On, the promo CD single, and My Love. Again, a great album. Well, we'll just go through a few of the albums released, the CDs. And again, these CDs are from the original masters that Frankie Valli and Bob Gaudio received from Bob Crew through VJ Records in 1966. These have not been released since. The Timeless album, great, great album. The Gold Hits album, En Dizono de Oro, great album from 68. The CD version and mono version on CD of Genuine Imitation Life Gazette, a great album. Again, this is a masterpiece by Bob Gaudio. You have to give it a spin. The Four Seasons, Half and Half, great album. Street Fighter, one of my favorites from 84-85. The Four Seasons, Hope and Glory. Oh, this was a great album. Came out 92-94. Great writing, great instrumentation, and some fantastic vocals by Frankie Valli. Four Seasons, Oh What a Night, where some of the same songs are redone in dance form. The dance album, Oh What a Night, great album. Frankie Valli's great album from the summer of 78 with his #1 hit single, Grease. Has some great material on here. A couple of songs written by Barry Gibb. Frankie Valli from 1980, Heaven Above Me, a great album with some fantastic outtakes. The Four Seasons, fantastic live album from New Jersey, 1980. This is a beautiful album, live recordings, extended versions, just a great live album from 1980 with Frankie Valli and his Four Seasons. Also, we have in the box set, Frankie Valli Inside You, released in 1974-75. We have the Close-Up album from Frankie Valli. Just a great, great album with Swearing to God. Album Frankie Valli released a couple of years back, about 3, 4, 5 years ago in 2016. His Christmas album, great album. What I consider one of the great albums of the 70s, Chameleon by the Four Seasons. Great material written by Bob Gaudio and his wife Brittany Gaudio and a few other writers. This is a fantastic album. Frankie Valli, Our Day Will Come. The big hit album by the Four Seasons with Who Loves You in December 1963, Oh What a Night, Who Loves You, a great album. Silver Star, Emily Saw the Dance, a fantastic album. Also, Frankie Valli, Lady Put the Light Out. Also includes the Jersey Babies. This was a project by the daughter of Bob Gaudio, Danielle Gaudio, who put this together and was produced by Robbie Robinson, who is still with Frankie Valli to this day. A great instrumental album of the Frankie Valli hits. Bear with me a second here. We also have their Christmas album, Born to Wonder by the Four Seasons, which includes a special outtake of Millie. The Ragdoll album, The Four Seasons Entertain You. Their great, somewhat live album from 1965, recorded live on stage. Also, the Four Seasons sing Burt Bacharach, Hal David, and Bob Dylan. But plenty of albums in this set. Oh, one of my favorites, Helicon by the Four Seasons, released in 1977. Down the Hall. Just some great, great material on this album. But I think this is a great box set. I recommend whoever can pick up their copy and the books that are included. And of course, this with the history written by Paul Sexton and Ken Sharp. A great album. I want to thank you for watching. And this is a Four Seasons dream come true. Overall, it's a music lover's dream come true. I hope you enjoyed my review of this box set. Questions, comments, again, always respected. I look forward to reading them. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Take care.